Welcome to Apartment Market Dynamics. I'm Jay Parsons, and we are wrapping up second quarter, and we will in the coming weeks be rolling out lots of results by metros. But before that, let's set the expectations for what to watch for. And with me to make sense of it all is Greg Willett, the Vice President for Research and Analysis at MPF Research. Greg, back in the first quarter, you said the key thing to watch for was rent growth. Is that still the case for 2Q as we look ahead to the results?
Well, 1Q was a unique situation. We had a whole bunch of leases that were coming up on their expiration date at a time when there's usually not a whole lot of demand in the marketplace just with normal seasonality. So going into second quarter, it's really a little bit of a different story. That's typically a strong demand period, and I think it really should be this year given we're not seeing much churn in terms of renters moving out to buy single-family homes. So what I'd watch for in the second quarter numbers would be some really strong demand, and with that, a pretty decent-sized bump in occupancy.
So the key number then, just to summarize, will be strong demand leading to a rise in occupancy.
I think so, and particularly what will be interesting to watch is are we going to get some decent demand in the bottom half of the market? I mean, we were already in pretty good shape in terms of top-tier communities, but now we're in a situation where jobs need to be creating some demand for the lesser quality product out there in the marketplace.
Well, let's talk about pricing. What are we looking for in the rent side of the equation?
Well, Jay, if we get that good bump in demand and occupancy, obviously the pricing comes along with it, and we should see a good number on the rent side as well. One thing to look for on the rent side is we're finally at that stage of the cycle with the annual calculation where we're going to be dropping off a positive number from a year ago. In second quarter of 2010, rents went up a little bit more than 1%. So to keep that annual rent change number going up higher and higher, we're going to have rent growth 1.5–2% for the quarter. So it will be interesting to see whether we get that or not.
And let's talk about some individual metros. What metro-specific storylines are you looking for in second quarter?
If the top line story for the quarter is really those demand numbers, I'd focus in on Texas. What we're seeing there, some really strong economic growth, job production getting actually close to boom time levels of production. So we could see some really, really big demand numbers come out of Texas, and it could really account for a big chunk of the U.S. total. And you look at these numbers very closely, just as I do. What are you looking for in some second quarter numbers?
Well, the big thing I'll be looking for is we never like surprises in the data, and we had a few markets that just had some odd results back in first quarter. Some previously red-hot spots like Washington, D.C., Austin, Denver, saw some slowdown in the beginning of the year. But what we've been saying is, and expecting, is that those were just some bumps in the road. So what we're really looking for is to see markets like those three to see if they turn back up the heat on revenue growth in second quarter and maintain that going forward.
Looking at some regional results, I think another place to watch would be Southern California. Now, what we saw there was the beginning of some rent growth kicking in first quarter after Southern California markets had been real laggards there. But occupancy rates still not all that great by historical standards. So in second quarter, are we going to get the improvement in occupancy that really supports rents starting to go up, or are we going to plateau on the pricing level?
And one more metro we have to think about is, what about Las Vegas? As of first quarter, it was the only market that had significantly negative revenue change on an annual basis. What are we going to see in second quarter?
Again, looking at those annual calculations for Las Vegas in second quarter, we're going to be dropping off a big negative number from a year ago. So even if you're just basically flat for the quarter, you can get pretty close to a zero on revenue change in Las Vegas this quarter. My guess is it's still going to be a little bit negative, but a much smaller negative than we've been seeing out of that metro.
All right. Well, there you have it. And join us next time on Apartment Market Dynamics as we look at the preliminary results from our second quarter national survey set. So until then, for Greg Willett and for MPF Research, I'm Jay Parsons. Thank you for watching Apartment Market Dynamics.
Want more? Go deeper with MPF Research's apartment market reports. From a national level, down to individual metros, to specific neighborhoods, MPF Research has been providing unparalleled apartment market intelligence to the multifamily industry for almost 5 decades. Learn more by contacting us at 877-284-4938 or visit www.npfresearch.com and click on Market Reports.